What's up, Ringside Nation? The Ring Boys are back, down one. Doc's still on vacation. Touch base with him on the phone. Got a few counterpoints from him so he can defend himself on this one. And I'm here with my beautiful co-host, Artie. Artie, how we feeling, man?
Yeah, we did let Volkanovski know that we had somebody pull out last minute for the podcast. He wasn't able to actually fill in for Doc, but we're hoping to get him another time. But yeah, good weekend, good fights.
Yeah, we had Kamzat scheduled, but he pulled out too. Hopefully he doesn't pull out soon. I want to see him go against Bobby Knuckles, but that's for another episode. Listen, Umar Nurmagomedov, we'll cover Fight Night right away. My lock for good reason. Corey Sandhagen, phenomenal takedown defense. It's kind of hard to lose when you have Coach Khabib in your corner and you're in UAE. So my man extends the streak to 18-0. Outdid him on the striking. I think kind of outdid him on the grappling. Didn't really get to hold him down as much or do any damage on the ground till the end of the round when Sandhagen seemed to be just gassed and let everything go. But Umar solidifies on the resume that next he's waiting for that title shot. He should be the first person in line after Sean and Merab duke it out. Artie?
Yeah, I mean, I think it was very clear that they went in there with a very, very good game plan. I think I'm sure we'll hear about what Doc's points were, but you know, Corey did say that he was going to figure this out. He said that they had a good game plan into it, but it didn't seem very good at all because whenever he was trying to do, like, he had very good wrestling defense. He was able to get out of the takedowns by giving up his back quite a few times. But it didn't seem like his striking was that much better than Umar's. Anytime he got aggressive with Umar had very good counters. And I think the reason why he couldn't be aggressive is because he knew that Umar would take him down because his timing of takedowns was so good this fight. There's quite a few where, he got a single leg and Corey had to do something. It looked like he was just really just trying to his like best way of balancing and not like being like able to get taken down, but he didn't make it offensive when it was happening. I think a good example of that is when Curtis Blades knocked out Yata Lamida, right? He went for a takedown. He wasn't getting anything, so he started striking his head. You have to do something like that so these things don't continue to happen over and over again. But
Couldn't,
Umar, very, very good. I don't know if he beats whoever. Well, I think he beats Sean. But I don't think he beats Marab as well. I think Marab is just a different animal, but we'll see how all of that works out.
I agree entirely with you on those points. I think, unfortunately, we'll see what happens here in September. I think on Sean O'Malley's case, he better really be working on the ground or he's going to have to figure out that, you got to be able to grapple as much as you can use your striking and be scary. But Marab's not one to fear down from a challenge. Marab was like calling out his coach, Tim Welch, like, I'll knock him out. Let's do street fights. It's like, brother, you haven't knocked anyone out in a while. Relax. But yeah, we'll have to see.
Did any of us have Umar in the bantamweight division?
In fantasy?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
What?
Yeah. Check that out for me while
I got you.
I talk about Shara here. Shara, fraud checked? Question mark. Doc seemed to be very adamant on his both picks, Corey Sandhagen and Michal, that Shara and Umar were going to be frauds. Obviously, that wasn't the case. They ended up winning. Shara's kicks, Shara's dominance, Shara's just overall poise seemed to be really good. Michal obviously is a tough guy. I didn't think Shara was going to be able to get it done, but he won. I think he called out Nick Diaz, which is like, please don't make that fight. I want to see him against like a Kevin Holland, get him a ranked fight. Like, it's time to go. But it sucks that I don't know if it's the eye or if it's his citizenship. Why he can't get sanctioned in the U.S. Like, he was in the U.S. recently, posted pictures like, hey, I'm here, UFC, let's get a fight. It's like, okay, you enjoy your Disney World trip while the big boys talk in the welterweight division. But yeah, Shara's kicks. I mean, he's my first ballot Hall of Fame pick for the Ring Boys Hall of Fame because he's always going to be remembered for being part of the Dagestani Gucci Flip Flop Parlay. So that's cemented in history, and I hope he continues on his reign. Artie?
Yeah. It was a very interesting fight. I think I don't know if he necessarily got fraud checked. I think he's still very good. I think there's definitely issues when it comes to, not having both eyes, like for him, right? Like it was very clearly part of Oleksiejczyk's game plan to be in a different stance and have a heavier strike coming from his left instead of his right. And so Shara had to be pretty defensive throughout most of the fight, but from what it looked like. I think DC made a very good point when he said that Shara throws a million different kicks, and that takes a lot more out of your gas tank than just striking. So I think that's part of it. Shara is crazy through the first round, pretty good through the second, and then in the third, it just always kind of slows down and comes to an end. But maybe they'll have a different game plan. He is still young. He's training full time with the over in Dagestan. So maybe we'll see something different from Shara. But called it, like you said, called out Nick Diaz for October in Abu Dhabi. But I don't know that that's gonna happen.
I think Connor has a better chance of fighting this year than that fight happening. Jesus Christ. But that was a pretty good fight. Shara, I don't think got fraud checked. 123 to 94 on total strikes, 97 to 77 on SIGs. Brother just worked the body and cut him and just did whatever he wanted. So I don't know. Yeah, he got taken down. Yeah, I was a little worried, but Michal didn't do anything with it. So I didn't believe that was our co-main event when we saw on the card even before the fight that Chito Vera was going to be fighting Davison Figueiredo. Chito obviously coming off the title fight loss against Sean. Davison Figueiredo coming off that win against 300. All of us taking Figueiredo, and rightfully so. Figueiredo got the win. Listen, Chito is very good as an all-around fighter, in my opinion. He tends to start slow, and I feel like they both started slow, and they felt it out. And then Figueiredo found the range and just went to work. Now, Chito outstruck him, but the control and the grappling and just the overall damage seemed to do it with Figueiredo and the knockdown late in the fight. And I see all you MMA casuals going, oh, Figueiredo hits harder than Sean O'Malley. It's like, yeah, no duh. The dude was a champion too. Like, we can't forget that. He put on weight. Like, he knows what he's doing. Yeah, like, I don't know how you feel about it, Artie. I don't think Figueiredo deserves to go for the title over Umar, obviously. But I think he's coming. I think he's in the ladder. He's definitely up there. Do I think he has a solid chance? We'll have to see how things shake out. Where do I see Chito Vera going? Taking some time, taking his next fight very wisely, and you got to finish and get back up there real quick or your career slips.
Yeah, I agree. I think Chito needs to take quite a bit of time off. He needs to go back in the lab, game plan completely differently than whatever they've been doing. He did come out looking a little bit better in the first round, as you said, but it just, there is something not right, I think. And I think part of it is that he tries to rely on his chin so much that it doesn't really work out in the end. And yeah, Davison Figueiredo, my lock of the card for a reason. The dude is legit. He's put on the extra 10 pounds, and it's been helping him out a ton. It seems like this is more of a natural weight for him, so maybe that's why he's had so much success. But yeah, I think you're right. I don't think he should be next in line for the title shot, but he's definitely getting up there. I think it does make everything pretty interesting in the bantamweight division, like just going forward. There is quite a few things that did get shaken up in the bantamweight division just as of late, and I think that division, just to begin with, is pretty interesting. We could see Davison Figueiredo fight somebody like Petr Yan, maybe fight somebody like Corey Sandhagen, who just obviously came off a loss, but that would be good for both of them, right? Because then he could be moving up, or it could be the last time that we see Corey fight in the top 5, because he could lose that fight, I think. But overall, it's still very interesting, and that is a very, very exciting division because there's so many very good guys at the top 10.
Yeah, I agree entirely. And still insane this was in the co-main event. Like, are you kidding me? I don't get it. They're really trying to push and sell Shara because he's undefeated, and I get it, but
they love him in Abu Dhabi, man. You can't.
They really do. Him. They really do. You know who else they surprisingly loved in Abu Dhabi, even though he lost? Tony Ferguson. Tony Ferguson, slow start, got in a couple strikes, outstruck Michael Chiesa until we went to the ground and got choked out. Takes off one glove, leaves in the ring, says, I'm going to take some time to think about things. I want to be with my family, gives DC a hug, and then takes the other glove that he promised to hold on to and throws it in the crowd immediately. I love Tony too, don't get me wrong. And I'm probably going to get a ton of hate for what I'm about to say. Brother, that was cringe. That was cringe to me. Like, the way that he was like, they weren't even like having a moment. You didn't retire. You said you'll be back. And you're like walking off all dramatic, like after getting choked out. It's like, you just set a UFC record for most straight significant losses. Like, Tony, man, take as long as you need. I'm glad to hear that he started sparring again because I think he needs it. I think he did a little better this fight. I don't know, maybe. But also good for Michael Chiesa, who's been out for some time, to come back, get the win. He was hyped. But class act for him to pass the mic to Tony Ferguson and let him have his moment, I guess. Artie, I know you're a big Tony guy, so I'll let you chime in.
I don't know that it's necessarily cringe. It's very like Tony to do those type of things. He did say in the post press that like whatever his team has in this, like, down the road for him is what he's going to be doing. So it didn't sound necessarily that it sounds like he's going to continue to fight, whether it's in the UFC or not. That's a whole different story, but I don't think it's going to be in the UFC. That this had to have been the last one. There's no way he can keep going. But yeah,
I mean, Tony, we thought that about Jose Aldo. Jose Aldo's fighting soon.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's a very different story. Jose Aldo
100%.
Very, very good.
Really good.
Tony Ferguson needs to retire because he's gonna let the sport retire him. It's not good.
Yep. Another thing that needs to retire is the doubters when I pick women's fights, and especially when it comes to my girl Mackenzie Dern. I told you it was gonna happen. It happened. Was it a convincing win? No. I was worried the whole time. I didn't put it in my parlay for obvious reasons. I just wanted to enjoy that fight. But Mackenzie Dern opened up very well. You know, she got some good combinations. And then one interesting thing that happened that I don't know if many people paid attention to, Lupi Godinez kind of let this fight get out of her hands. She was able to get back into it a little, but then Mackenzie was able to outstrike her, got her down. I thought she had a sub attempt, but I guess I didn't count it. She must have slipped it. But listen, it was a fight. It was a good fight. And I told you so, but I'm not taking this one to the bank. I'm not proud and confident in me calling this. It was a one-off thing. And then the last thing I'll say is at the end, Mackenzie Dern got back to her corner, seemed gassed, and they were like, set up the screen uppercut. Like, it's there. She's just opening it. Literally a minute and a half later, Mackenzie Dern throws this beautiful combination, throws an uppercut. I swear if it landed, she would have knocked her out, but it didn't. And I was like, wow, I love watching and hearing fighters go to their corner and actually taking the advice into account and seeing it work. That's the beauty of the sport, Artie.
Yeah. I think there's definitely a gas tank issue for Lupi. Like you said, it was very close. But yeah, Mackenzie Dern did pull this out. Good for her. It was kind of like, in my opinion, it was time to pull one out, because when you're 31 and you've lost 3 and you've only won 2 in your last 5, including this one, it's not looking great, especially in the women's division. Since we only have 3, there's a ton of fighters. They're all trying to make their way up. So yeah, good for Mackenzie. I'm glad she's back in the win.
Yeah, she's back. You know who's not back? Ellis Brenner. Listen.
He's like Arman Sarukian. Ugh.
I have an out. He's young. He's from Shoot the Box. He's a prospect. Yoel Alvarez. I was not familiar with your game. I'll apologize now straight up. But I was pressured into taking this because of Doc. I thought Elvis Brenner was going to do a lot better than this. And I think I jinxed the card because on our pre-show, which we did last minute, Saturday morning, of course, we absolutely threw in the fact that it was a main card that we outlined as an underdog always hits so far this year. And this is the first card all year. Go figure. After I say that, an underdog did not hit, and I took Elvis Brenner as my underdog because I didn't think any other underdogs were going to hit. So that's my defense. It's not a good one. I was wrong. I'm sorry. What are you, a cop? Artie, what are your thoughts?
I'm not a cop, but yeah, he doubled him up on strikes. Some great defense on takedowns. Just didn't look like Elvis Brenner was really that in it. So Joe Alvarez, maybe Yoel Alvarez, maybe we'll see him again. He's pretty good.
Called out someone that he wants to fight in Spain, but he said he'd also be down to run it in October. So I have to wait and see. But I was not familiar with your game. I'm on the hype train. I'm taking Yoel, whoever he fights, depending on who it fights. I was gonna say, what was his last fight? It was Yakis, and he subbed him. Yeah, that was back in July. Not an active fighter for someone who's 31 in the UFC. Oh wait, he is pretty active. Not that active. Whatever. I'm not gonna talk down on him. He shut up. He did what he was supposed to do. So, prelims, some decent fights on there. I'll just run through and do my normal ESPN 60-second challenge. Artie, if you consent and like that.
Go ahead.
All right. Asmat proved you both wrong. Did it again. Absolutely just dominated Alonzo Menafield. Alonzo Menafield did not know where he was on some like Johnny Walker, I'm in the desert, bro action. Mohamed Yahya absolutely not allowing the fans and the crowd get into something that he should have. There was moments where I felt like he was going to break away, but Kai Fernandes, man, this dude's legit. Shamil Gaziev, well done. Way to win. Thanks for ruining my parlay your last fight. Guram Kutaladze, man, Jordan Vucinic is a legit dog. I was worried that he was winning the whole fight, and I think he was. Knocked down Guram, but Guram does like this insane gator roll to escape, gets back into the fight. Man, just showed that experience is definitely there. There was a chance that they used to spar together, or he coached him or something. I completely forget what they were talking about, but they have a history, I'm pretty sure. Love seeing the Georgian fighter come in and get the job done. Credit there. Victoria Dudkova, she showed up. She fought. Didn't win, but she fought. The only underdog that actually hit on the whole card, Sam Hughes. Hey, how are you? Jai Herbert shows he's legit. Rolando Bedoya, tough guy to knock out. I thought he was going to get it done. And Cedricus Dumas, Doc's lock of the card, gave me a scare as well. I thought he was losing at some point. So Dennis Thielen, probably last day in the UFC. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But the guy got arrested. The guy went on Instagram Live. The guy showed up. His father's in the hospital. Was told that he only has 6 months to live. Wishing you the best, man. But you hate seeing someone go through stuff like that. But you love seeing them come in, get a win, and doing it for something that's meaningful. That's about all from the card. Anything you want to talk about on the prelims? Because I don't think I want to speak on anything that I just covered.
Well, Shamil Gaziev winning means that there's going to be another fight night with a heavyweight main event. So I am so excited. Thank you. And then, Dennis Tulin, not great. Also, what judge had the Victoria Dudkova fight 30-27 for Victoria? What are we doing? And then something that's not related, well, I guess a little bit related to the card. I had Umar on my fantasy team, so that's an extra 3 points to me. I also had Loopy on my fantasy team, so that's 1 point for me for her showing up. I'm at 32 now, and I'm gonna have a fighter, I guess, that's probably not gonna fight again this year because Muhammad Akayev went on Twitter, posted a video of him apologizing to Hunter Campbell and saying that he wants to be back in the UFC. He'll fight for free. He doesn't care.
Yeah, it seems like you're pulling away from fantasy, so I'm not going to wave the checkered flag just yet. We'll see if things stir up and shake up. But yeah, overall, probably like December-ish, I'll say we'll do a redraft. Yeah, that sounds good. And then we'll do an award show. We got things in the vault. Won't reveal anything too much. Special guest coming in hopefully soon. Big special guest. Gonna leak and surprise that now for all you clickbaiters. And that's the card. Artie, anything before we sign off here, brother?
Yeah. Listen, don't be upset with us if we don't talk about the next card. We might try to do something different, a little bit different for the next video because wow, that is just a pile of not good I guess there's a couple of good fights. We can just talk about them quickly, but maybe I think we'll take a slightly different direction until 305, just to keep it interesting. Because even for us, like, I'm not gonna lie to you, I have no idea who somebody like Charalampos Gregorio is. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm not gonna be that excited to watch them fight, but we'll talk about something different.
There's only one man on that card I'm really hyped for. Danny Left-Handed God Barlow. I will be there. I will be front and center. I'm putting the whole 401k on Danny Left-Handed God Barlow. That's it. That's all I got to say. Bye-bye.